Eventually, how old is that?
Call to order. 9:51.
I'd like to call to order the Finance Committee meeting.
Head down to the Apple Store.
Calling the Finance Committee meeting to order, please, at 9:51. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Nolden,
Present.
Commissioner Winfrey,
Here.
Commissioner Ellenberg,
Here.
Commissioner Clemens,
Present.
Commissioner Young,
Here.
Commissioner Shoemaker,
Present.
Commissioner Davis,
Present.
Commissioner Newman,
Here.
Commissioner Peppin.
Here.
We do have a quorum.
I need approval of the minutes from the last
Move.
Finance Committee.
Forward.
Been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Is there public comments to the committee? Do you have any public comments to the committee? Seeing no public comments, it's closed. Communications from Plant Moran.
Hello, happy Thanksgiving.
Morning.
Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Thanks for having us here today. We just wanted to cover the pre-audit communication with the committee, let you know that we're getting into audit season again. It seems like it just ended. But we will be starting, we've already started our planning, working with Crystal and her team. And we will be working with the chair and vice chair of the Finance Committee in upcoming months to kind of go through the process again as we have in past years. So we're briefly going to cover the letter today. Happy to answer any questions that you have, but I'll turn it over to Amanda.
Great, thanks, Pam. So in your packets for this meeting, you should have a copy of our pre-audit letter. So I'm not going to go word for word through this, but this letter does describe to you how we've planned our audit to go. And as part of that process, we are required to brainstorm and consider potential risks that will impact our audit. And those are laid out to you on the second page. And we have had some communications with a few of you regarding our audit plan already, and any risks that you foresee that we should consider. So on the second page, I did just briefly want to mention a few of the things that we thought of, particularly related to year-end accruals, so ensuring that your books and records are GAAP compliant. CARES Act funding, so we all know that the county's received a lot of funding, additional funding, new funding, and those are all going to be integrated into our audit process. Construction in progress related to large projects, especially the Juvenile Detention Center. We will ensure that that project is integrated into our testing. And then any new audit standards, which the county is required to adopt one this year, and we've already been working closely with Crystal's team to make sure that she's on top of that, and we've really come a long way in that area. So related to these risks, we've developed specific audit plans related to them. And I think at this point, I would just open it up, if that's okay, Mr. Chair, if there's any questions or concerns from any of the commissioners related to our audit. Great.
Also, if something comes up, I think kind of like, we don't start field work until January. We're usually here through January and February. So if something comes up in the meantime, definitely feel free to reach out.
And just one more comment related to our audit process. So just a reminder for all the commissioners, we don't audit every single transaction. We're very targeted in our testing. So again, not only do we target these risk areas, but certainly large or unusual transactions, along with random sampling. So we think our sampling techniques are pretty spot on, and we seem to uncover, anomalies when they're there. So certainly, if you have any questions after the meeting today, in the coming weeks, please reach out to Pam or myself. We're happy to hop on a call or talk through your concerns and make sure that those are integrated appropriately into our audit.
Thank you, Pam. Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Seeing no old business, on to new business. Under A, Director of Administration, approval of a request to create, post, and fill a fleet administrator position for
Move it.
Genesee County Mower Pool.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Mr. Shoemaker.
As everyone remembers our last meeting, we'd had discussion over this here, we'd postponed it for 2 weeks. Sadly, I still don't think I have my questions answered in my hours, other than I found out a few things that I'll save. If you want to come to me afterwards, it'll blow your mind that have happened and that are happening over there. The real question is, one, this is the major question we need to ask ourselves before we vote for this. What does the term hiring freeze mean to everyone on this county board? I've brought this up several times since I've been down here my 3 years. To me, freeze means stop. I learned it as a child. We'd play this game and you'd move around, everybody would say freeze, and guess what? Oh, you stop. That's what freeze means to most of our residents too, is we're gonna stop. Now, does that mean we don't replace? No. So I would ask you, if you do vote to do this, I'd expect somebody to come up with a motion next to remove the hiring freeze. Because it just makes you look like a bunch of people who don't mean what we say. That's really what it is. So I would hope somebody would come up with, who votes for this, a motion to say, we're gonna actually get rid of the hiring freeze. You know, you might want to call something like hiring hurdles or whatever, because we're gonna put people through them to get there, but it's not a freeze. Next is, we can't measure over there what we're doing. The hours being logged over there would dictate what we have. I went over there. I've spent quite a bit of time over there. I've sat outside watching what goes on there. I really don't believe, and you know, and if you did the same, I would truly believe you, that we do not need this at this point. The goal is eventually to get everything under one roof and be able to repair them and have them there and everything else like that. This is an additional wage right now. Number one, this county can't afford long-term. Two, it's not needed. It's still not clear to me how the process is going to work and what's going to go down. The next portion of it that I have concern with is the fact is, normally everyone reports to us. They serve at the pleasure of the board. Then we allow the director of administration to oversee them if we have a question. This person reports directly to, as far as this information, to the director of administration, instead of like the rest of our heads of departments to us. So I don't know why that's actually different than anything we normally do, because Mr. Freeman would still have the opportunity to oversee them even if they report directly to us. So I don't know why we changed the language on this, or if this is different for a certain reason. So my question is why is that different? Why is this different?
So department heads answer directly to the board. This isn't a department head, so it doesn't answer directly to the board.
Motor pool's not a department head?
No, it isn't.
What? What defines department head? Can somebody explain that to me?
HR can speak to how they define department heads, but planning department, fiscal services, those are departments. Motor pool has historically been lodged under various departments. It's not a standalone. For example, before the board decided to take this over, it was under fiscal services or purchasing.
Morning. Yeah, motor pool has not been a standalone independent department, as Josh just explained. It used to be under purchasing. Purchasing is under fiscal services now, because we've done some consolidating over the years. And I think motor pool now is overseen by Josh, the Director of Administration.
Okay, here, no one's answered my question. This is what frustrates me. This is what frustrates residents, because we talk around in circles. What defines a department head?
For
That's my
me?
simple, for us as a county, if we had to say that's a department head, like IT, we have a department head in IT because they work in IT.
It's an independent department, so a department head is a head of a department. Motor pool is a division or like human resources. We have benefits, we have employment, we have labor, but none of those are independent departments. They're under the umbrella of human
So
resources.
what department does motor pool fall under then now?
Currently, it's to the board, the Director of Administration. Previously, it was under fiscal services. Previous to that, it was under purchasing. But purchasing was absorbed, consolidated into fiscal services.
So this person's going to report not to the board, but to Mr. Freeman. That's the plan. Yet, a few meetings ago, we discussed that he needed it off his plate because it's more work. And that was actually stated in the meeting, if you want to look at the minutes. So I just don't understand the need for this right now. I do understand that someday, if we get this department to where we need to be, that we will have a need for this. Thank you, Anita, by the way. On top of that, I've asked for software to be put over there, free software from the time I've been down here to track hours and log hours. If you sign up with most of these car companies, you buy parts from, they will actually give you the software to track billable labor hours. That has not been done. But if you want to move forward with it and keep going, and when you start seeing, before you even know the numbers of what you're paying your people over there, which I suggest you look into it because one of them will actually make you sick. Not that somebody should make that, that's not the issue. The fact is that we're paying that for the service being done and what we're getting out of there. It needs to be, it needs to be overseen. And part of the reason they're making that money is they were supposed to be responsible for this, running that department. So I'm a no. I'm sorry to labor on this, but I'm just extremely frustrated with this. One, because we say we're going to do a hiring freeze, and every time we keep going, we keep adding departments. Two, because we give people raises, then we're supposed to take things off their plate on top of it, even though they got raises. And then now they're adding someone else to oversee them. It sends a very mixed message to our residents and to the rest of our employees throughout this county. So like I said, I'm a no. I think it's a large wage, because just because you see the initial salary doesn't mean that's the total compensation. But I'll encourage you, please, everyone, stop down to my office. I'll be glad to tell you exactly what you're paying over there, and it's just gonna blow your mind that we don't have a better system in place and more tools in place before we hire somebody. So thank you for your time, and I'm sorry to go on, but it's just super frustrating.
Commissioner Young.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, maybe for different reasons, I support Commissioner Shoemaker's stance on this from the stand of a hiring freeze. And when we're in some contentious negotiations at this point, I don't know that this is the proper time to be trying to create a job that's going to cost us $97,000 a year going forward. I don't know that it does send a good message. We've got other positions that we have previously okayed, but we haven't filled, and that bothers me. So, for those reasons, I'm not supporting this either.
Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
We better take a roll call.
Commissioner Nolden,
Yes.
Commissioner Winfrey,
Yes.
Commissioner Ellenberg,
Yes.
Commissioner Clemens,
Yes.
Commissioner Young,
No.
Commissioner Shoemaker,
No.
Commissioner Davis,
No.
Commissioner Newman,
No.
Commissioner Peppin.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-4.
Under fiscal services, we have forwarding to receive and file a copy
Move
of the
it.
paid county bills.
Can we move all three?
Can move all three,
Support.
and it's supported. Is there any discussion on those three? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oh, did you?
I just looking over one, can I just have 1 second here? On three, if I could.
Okay,
Have we ever thought of going outside of using the same auditing firm year after year after year?
Crystal, can you?
So this is part of why we're bringing it to you now. We're still under contract for the 2021 audit, which they're about to begin. So we're asking you to approve this, but if you don't, then it would go out to bid from there.
So, because this is all the way through 2025.
Yes.
It just seems like a long time, and if you've had audits done before and if you've owned a business, you know, we've at times switched people that have done our auditing at times, and we were amazed at the stuff we found, because not to their fault or anybody's fault or any group's fault. What you do, it's like in your house, you go by the dust bunny because it's been there forever because it's under the ottoman or whatever. It's just what it is, and you're breezing over stuff the same way. I think sometimes adding a new set of eyes and a new perspective is the right thing to do. So, you know, I know we're under contract through 2021, and I just think it's something that should always be sent out. And I will continue to think that, because number one, I think it should be sent out for bid, because that's the fairest, most honest way to do things with our residents. But on top of it, I think we need to look at maybe looking into someone else, because I actually look at things different from a different perspective, and, you know, maybe improve, or, I mean, I could go the other way and it might not improve, but I think they should have the opportunity, and we should take the time to look into seeing if we're getting the most for our dollar. And it's not our dollar, it's a taxpayer dollar, and that we're having the clear solution. So thank you.
I will say you can request a partner rotation or a manager rotation. We did that a lot when I was at Plan Moran. Because to your point, sometimes a new set of eyes is good. What I will say about some of the other audit firms over the years, you know, some of them will bid lower, but then they'll come back and bill for every additional question or audit item that's brought up and questioned. And then there are some that I've seen give some other people advice that is not accurate. So obviously we don't want to be in a position where we're arguing with an audit firm who doesn't know what they're doing. So that's why we recommended this, but ultimately, yes, if you decide you want to take it out to bid, we're happy to do that as well.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with Commissioner Shoemaker. I just think a 4-year contract, you know, without going out for bids, I just think that's extreme.
Mr. Young?
Yeah, I don't disagree with Commissioner Shoemaker on this. You know, however, you know, since I've been on this board 9 years now, you know, as Crystal had stated, you can request to have a different partner to come in, and they'll, you know, bring different teams in, that type of thing as we go forward on it. And I know on various things that we've reached out to them on, we've had several different teams that have different areas of expertise that we brought in. And, you know, just for the record, I mean, you know, my first handful of years I was finance chair. You know, this is, Pam is the third partner that we've had in doing these audits. So there has been a different set of eyes on it all along. So, and I think they do a good job. And I know, you know, we've got some horror stories of dealing with some other auditing companies on some other processes that we've had to deal with in the past.
Any other questions?
So if that's the case, can we go ahead and move 1 and 2 and then vote on 3 individually? If that's okay? Because it sounds like it's going to be a difference of opinion with number 3.
So anything further discussion?
Is that, okay?
I'm changing the motion. I'm fine with voting on 1 and 2 right
Yeah.
away. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Who supported it? Was it Charles?
I supported it, I think. I did. Oh, Charles, okay.
Are you okay with that,
Yeah.
Charles? So seeing no more discussion, those in favor of items 1 and 2 say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes.
Okay, now I'll move number 3.
Number 3's been moved. Is it supported?
Support.
Is there any further discussion on that?
Oh, no, I'm
Oh,
just,
I thought you
no, I'm just,
whipped your hand
my
up, I
hand
was gonna
here.
let you go. I do understand that there's a comfort in doing things the same way with the same people all the time, and I get that, and we're all guilty of it at times. You know, I had to repair a couple of my cars, and I take them to the same place because even though I think I'm paying a little too much, I'm just comfortable, and that's what it is. But that's my dollar. That's my money. That's not taxpayer money. Okay? So we're supposed to look out for that. We're supposed to be good stewards of it. And most importantly, we should be looking and sending it out to be looked at for bid. It's not like it's under our minimum where you guys always tell me, well, Sean, that's, you know, we can go up to this without sending it out for bid. This should be sent out it sends a clear message that we are serious about transparency, because we all talk about it here. And we've got 2001, they're going to do the audit in 2001, so we have time to get through there, and if they think everything's.
2021, not 2001.
I'm sorry, yeah, shoot, date myself real quick, don't I? 2021. And so we have time to prepare. I just think it should be sent out, and then if the board makes that choice to keep them, fine. But in fairness to these other places, just because a few companies have done something bad doesn't mean all these other companies are done something bad. Because you read reviews on every company, there's gonna be good and bad. So I don't think we can just say, these are the only ones that do it right, and they've done it right. Okay, so I like I said, I appreciate what they do for us. They were nice enough to come and meet with me, make an appointment, and they reached out to me. I appreciate that. Last spring, I think it was. From there, it's very appreciated. But in the same sense, you know, it's not our money. It's taxpayer dollars, and it should be sent out for a bid.
Mr.
Mr.
Chairman.
Chair?
yeah,
I'm sorry.
I'd like to propose an amendment to make the end term 2021 through 2025, I'm sorry, 2023. And I think, you know, we're not saying that Plant Moran does not do a good job. They will be allowed to bid, you know, at the end of this term. And if they get the bids, so be it. But I think it behooves us, you know, to get the best bang for our buck.
Is that
I'll
okay?
support that amendment.
Okay. All right, so is there any discussion?
I have a question.
Commissioner Albert?
I know when I was on, the city council, I know we had Plant Moran for quite a while, and, we decided to leave Plant Moran because of the same issue of having them, I think, for 20 years. And we got some different eyes, and that wasn't so pleasant, because, they weren't doing the job or the thoroughness as Plant Moran were doing. And, they ended up hiring Plant Moran back because of the failure of the other company. So, I understand that, different eyes, and I think that Pam, as kind of being the lead, I've, seen her for many, many years. I think she understands that other people's eyes have to look at them, and I think at her department, she kind of pushes that to make sure that people are seeing numbers, because I know if I see the same numbers all the time, pretty soon I just imagine they're there. And I think she knows the fact that she has to move those around so other people aren't, those numbers pop in their eyes and when a big number comes up. Just like when you look at the budget or anything like that, the big numbers come up, the little tiny ones, I look at the little ones, so everybody looks at different things. So I think, Plant Moran has done a good job of kind of doing that. Even Crystal, I remember Crystal when she was with Plant Moran, and she would come in and present at the city of Burton. So, but I do agree with, sometimes, we can shorten up the time, and, going out for bid is always good, because that way you get ideas. And right now, it wouldn't be really fair, because their price has already been set for their time, so people could underbid it. So, down the road, if that's to 23, that would be okay with me.
Any other comments? Commissioner Shoemaker?
One, there's employees watching over something, and then if you've run a business, you understand it's a representation of actually the management or the ownership of that business, the way they look, and that's what I'm talking as far as a set of eyes, what they're gonna tell them to look at, what they're gonna tell them to perceive from their audit comparably. Next is the frustrating part with me down here, and at my time, even in Fenton Township at times, that this is done, is this is the way we've done it, this is the way we've always done it, and this way we're gonna continue to do it. And that's what it looks like we're saying to our residents, and that's just my opinion. But I'm pretty sure our residents are gonna feel the same way about this. I'm not for extending it all, because they've got through 2021, not 2001, so I make it clear. But the fact is they've got that time. We have plenty of time to send it out to get the bid with that being done. So, I think we should move forward with the vote, but I'm not in favor of this because it isn't sent out. So, thank you.
Okay, the motion's been amended to ending 2021 through 2023.
So we need to vote on the amendment first.
Yep.
So all in favor of that amendment?
Aye.
Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
There, roll call that.
Commissioner Winfrey,
Yes.
Commissioner Ellenberg,
Yes.
Commissioner Clemens,
Yes.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Shoemaker. No. Commissioner Davis.
No.
Commissioner Newman.
No.
Commissioner Peppin.
Yes.
Commissioner Nolden.
Yes.
Motion passes
Passes.
6-3
Now we have to approve,
as amended.
number 3 as amended. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Okay, motion passes.
And Mr. Chair, we'll make the amendments in the resolution prior to the next meeting.
Okay, under C, G card. Approval of a.
Move it.
Support.
Been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Under the Health Department, we have approval of a purchase
I
order
move it.
Support.
to various vendors. It's been moved and supported. Is there discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Under Parks and Rec,
Move it.
Support.
been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Under Probate Court,
Move it.
approval of a proposed amendment.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Under Treasurer, approval of a purchase order to A.J. Gallagher for the fiscal year ending
Move it.
2022.
Support.
Been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Approval of a request by Genesee
Move
County
it.
Treasurer.
Support.
Has been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Approval of amendments to the 2014 PACE agreement.
Move it.
It's been moved
Support.
and supported. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Is there any other business before this committee? Seeing none, we stay.
That'll be on Finance Budget Sub.
This afternoon. Seeing no other business, we stand adjourned at
Next, are we gonna? Okay.